I got a comment the other day that inspired this video. It said, and I quote, "Bro got $200 worth of recipe to grow a seed. My nan does it with just dirt." Firstly, please don't call me bro. Secondly, only $200 for the soil recipe? I wish. And wait until he finds out how much the grow lights, the greenhouse, the polytunnel, the fertilizer, and the automation system cost me. But here's the thing, he's not wrong. You can grow chilies in plain dirt, and they'll probably do all right. Look, you don't need me to tell you the basics. You could read the back of a compost bag for that. There's no point in me making videos just to repeat what's already out there. What I'm here to share is decades of actually doing this. Years of growing chilies, running experiments, getting it wrong as often as I've got it right. In fact, getting it wrong is what teaches me everything I know. The reason I make these videos isn't to push expensive gear or overcomplicate things. It's to pass on what I've learned through trial and error, what's genuinely worked, what's been a complete waste of time, and what's made the real difference to my harvests. That's where the value is, not in standard advice you'll find anywhere, but in the hard-won experience that only comes from doing this year after year. So, in today's video, I thought we'd go back to where it all starts, the simple version. No automation, no heated propagators, no data tracking. Just how to grow chilies with the absolute basics and still get yourself a decent harvest. Everything starts with a seed. Now, you can go ahead and buy seeds from my seed store, ChilliChumpSeeds.com, or just grab some from a chili you've eaten, something that you bought from the supermarket, a Thai chili, habanero, bell pepper, or even a jalapeno. Just make sure that the chili is fully ripe. Jalapenos are green when they're unripe and red when they are ripe. You're going to cut them open and you'll see these gorgeous seeds on the inside. You want to take a few of them, don't just use one. You want to dry them off and plant them. Now, it might not give you the exact same chili because supermarket chilies are often cross-pollinated, but you'll still get a healthy plant and you might even end up with something unique. And since you've already bought the chili for your dinner, the seeds are basically free. Here's where it gets slightly more interesting. Chilies like it warm, especially ones like the Capsicum chinense varieties, habaneros, super hearts, that sort of thing. If you just chuck the seeds in cold compost and leave them on a windowsill, they'll probably sulk for weeks and probably rot, if I'm honest. You don't need a fancy propagator though. Get a little container, little takeaway tub, works fine. Fill it with cheap compost. I wouldn't use dirt from the garden, just get some cheap compost and plant the seeds about as deep as the seed is long. That's a good rule of thumb for any seed. Keep the compost damp, not soaked. Then cover it with cling film or the lid from the container to pretty much hold in the moisture. Stick it somewhere warm. Top of the fridge works well. It's often quite warm up there. Be careful, but you can put it on top of like a satellite box or a TV box. Those often get quite warm as well. Once you see the first green shoots appear, take the cover off and move it somewhere with light. Once the seedlings are up, light becomes the next big thing. A sunny windowsill is perfect. South facing in the northern hemisphere, north facing if you're in the southern hemisphere. If they start getting tall and thin with big gaps between the leaves, they're what we call leggy. This just means they need more light. You don't need fancy grow lights like back there. I use them because it's my job and I grow thousands of plants. But early on, I used to grow perfectly good seedlings under cheap CFL, complex fluorescent bulbs or fluorescent tubes or even these cheap LED lights. In fact, I still use this every now and then and they really don't need to cost a lot. If you've got a desk lamp or a shop light, that'll do just fine. When your plants have 3 or 4 sets of leaves, it's time to move them to a bigger pot. Again, nothing fancy, old ice cream tubs, takeaway containers, even half a water jug will do the job. Just cut the top off. Got yourself a container. Nice, well, nearly 5 liters. These will do the job. Now, I usually pot up in stages. It encourages better root growth. But if you're keeping things simple, you can go straight into a large pot, even from the seed stage. It's not ideal, but you can do it. The only issue is trying to fit a big pot somewhere warm early on. You're not going to be putting that on top of your fridge. So it just makes sense to start small. Use compost or decent garden soil. Make sure it can drain properly. Don't just use dirt like our commenter suggested. You can just water and hope for the best, and it'll probably be okay, but chilies are hungry plants. They'll grow better with a bit of food. Tomato feed works brilliantly and it's cheap. I actually like to use seaweed fertilizer. This is fantastic stuff, very gentle on your plants and great from early seedling stage right through to the end stage. Miracle Grow will do it too, though it's not my favorite. Whatever fertilizer you use, start at half strength and feed every few waterings. Just don't overdo it. And don't drown the plant. Keep the soil moist, not soggy, and make sure any excess water can drain away. By the end of the season, you'll start seeing flowers turn into chilies. Once they ripen, you can pick them and enjoy the fruits of your labor. And if you like what you've grown, save the seeds from the ripe pods and start again next season with those seeds. It's a great way to keep improving what you grow and maybe even develop your own variety over time. So that's it, the absolute basics. Stick a seed in some soil, keep it warm until it germinates. Once it sprouts, give it light, water, and a bit of feed now and then. And by the end of the season, you'll have your own chilies to pick. You don't need fancy gear or an expensive setup, but if you do want to optimize and get bigger, healthier plants and huge harvests, well, that's where my other videos come in. Anyway, I hope this helps you out, and if you'd like me to do a simple version like this for hot sauce making or fermentation or even automation, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, stay spicy.